Hello and welcome to the SC Playbook podcast, proudly brought to you by Pat and George from Mortgage Choice SCW. I'm your host, Tim Williams. We're in for what is not even arguably the most difficult round of the Supercoach season thus far. There is carnage happening all over the place. Hooker, front row forward, dramas going on, lots of question marks around cheapies. Teams look like they could be playing short, certainly short of quality. Here to work through it with me is 2019 NRL Supercoach champion, Desi Creek. Des, how are you, mate?
Not too bad, Timmy. Recovering from yesterday still.
Big one?
Yeah, not too big, not too big. Too old these days to really bend it through.
How's the 2-up form, mate?
Not as good as it used to be.
Not used to be an expert at it.
Not as lucky as 2019, yeah.
Also with us, Quantium CEO, NRL Supercoach Gun, Adam Driussi. Ads, how are you, mate?
I'm well, thanks, Tim. Thank you. You might have to change Supercoach Gun the way my side's going, but
Supercoach player Adam Driussi.
Supercoach player might be more relevant this season. Yeah,
mate. Your best finish. We were talking about it off air just briefly before, but you were 30 odd the year that Desi won it.
Yes, I was. I was up in the top 10 for a while, and then he dominated. He was too good.
He was.
Nathan Cleary screwed me in the last round. I think he got 185 and. About 20 teams captained him and overtook me. So
what did it send you to when you went down that last round?
About 32nd or 33rd. So I can't. Yeah, in the 30s.
Were you top 10 before that?
I was top 10 for a few weeks, and I was just outside the top 10. And then I thought I was going to go in, and then Nathan Cleary screwed me. Anyway, you know what it's like.
If you're not first or
last week, so
Desi, if you're not first or second, you're last. That's right, isn't it?
Something like that.
Guys. Oh, let's get on to last week's scores. How'd you go, Desi?
I scored 11-23.
Good.
So that was with captain on Turbo instead of Manu, which I planned on doing, but I don't know. I got spooked after a little social media post saying Desi's going to captain Manu.
I know.
Is he mad?
You posted it, mate. Then I doubled down on it for you.
I don't know.
Don't put me in this one.
I should have just stuck it on him because I don't know. Turbo just doesn't look that good, as I was saying last week. So. Yeah, a bit to chat about.
We'll get to Tommy Turbo shortly. That is drama. I got named today. Ads, how did your side go, mate?
I got 11-24, and I know that because I beat Des by one in that league, so I was pretty stoked about that.
Huge win.
Yeah, no, so 11-24. So better than the last few weeks, so it was good. I brought in James Tedesco early, so Tedesco versus Walsh finally had a win, not owning Reece Walsh. Up to now, he's been killing me.
Solid win too.
Yeah, and I captained Nico, so... Yeah, no, it all went not too bad.
Yeah, very nice, mate. Kuma Stallions, 1,086 points. Eli Katoa injury, or HR I should say, hurt last night. Not the best round, not the worst round. I think it was pretty well on par. Dropped a couple of spots to just outside the top 10,000 overall. So not too bad, but hopefully see some more green arrows this week. On today's show, we will go through the key takes from Team List Wednesday. It was this week. Absolute carnage for Supercoach content creators. That doubleheader on Tuesday has been a big day, the old Wednesday. Beers and Break-Evens we recorded this morning with the Rugby League Guru. Go and check that out on YouTube or on the podcasting channels. We didn't have... Supercoach hadn't unlocked at the time. Team List hadn't come out, but still some good talking points in there. We're going to talk about dealing with that hooker and front row forward injury crisis between the three of us, all impacted by that in one way or another. The hot topics this week: Tyrell Sloan, the most traded in. I think Robert Jennings is number 2. Tommy Turbo, the most traded out. Some huge talking points around those guys. We'll drop our round 9 trade and skipper plans, as well as a few listener questions to wrap it up for this week. Boys, let's get stuck into Team List Tuesday, and Desi, we'll start over at your boys, the Manly Seagulls. Tommy Trbojevic named. Reuben Garrick moves to centre. Let's talk about Tommy Turbo now. What is your plan with him, mate? Because, as you said, he looked underdone last week, but I don't think it's as cut and dry as it looks. Firstly, Manly sitting second on the ladder, they're not going to risk him if he's not good to go, if they're scared of aggravating any injury. So if he does play this week, you'd have to assume he's pretty well good to go. Has a really nice matchup against the Titans at Brookvale Oval. Also, the fact that he's clearly looking underdone and carrying a little bit of an injury, I do start to wonder if he's going to just commit to Manly this season and maybe sit out that origin period until Freddie Fittler. This is only speculating, but if he sits there and says, look, if I'm not 100%, pick one of these gun centres or wingers or fullbacks lining up. So we could have him round 13 all of a sudden. Where do you sit on it?
I don't think so on that last part. I think Turbo will be playing origin 1,000%. There's no way they're going to sit him out.
I don't think Freddie would sit him out, but Tommy is the kind of bloke that if he's not confident he can give his best, he could rule himself out. We saw Latrell Mitchell do it last season.
So you think that's more incentive to keep him?
That's what I'm leaning towards, is that Tommy Turbo could be available round 13 for us. Again, it's only speculating.
It's so far away that it's almost irrelevant. See, I saw Turbo this week. He didn't look good. I want to hammer the trade on him, trade him straight out to Tedesco or even Gutho, someone like that.
Okay. Ads, what's your take?
I hadn't thought of the sitting out, but I think if the current Tommy Turbo was running around, I don't think they'd pick him because he's not right. Obviously.
Exactly right. That's my thought process.
I actually don't think they would pick him because I don't think he's ready to play Origin. But I was thinking of trading him out this week, but I just think I've got problems elsewhere I might have to deal with. And with Manly playing the Titans, when he's been limping around on one leg and still scoring pretty well.
Exactly.
So I'll probably keep him, but I might also just be careful in case he does get dropped out of the team, in which case then I might want to trade him then. So I have to have a think. They
play Saturday afternoon. It's a bit of an awkward time. So, as you said, we will need probably a backup plan if he is to get ruled out, or hopefully he can cover him some way or another. Desi, Reuben Garrick moving to centre. So Brad Parker's out injured. They've got Tui Pilotu back on the wing. What do you make of this for Garrick? My gut feel says that I don't like it. Less attacking opportunities, but it's not to say that he can't score well at centre still.
Yeah, not the best. Manly just don't seem to be clicking too well. I don't know, the last few weeks. Garrick, I don't know. I don't think he'll score that well at centre. I don't think he's played much centre. There's not much to really go off. I think we know he's pretty much a winger. Centre's probably not his best position, but I don't know. That's not to say he couldn't keep scoring well.
Yeah, I think Ads, you probably wouldn't look to be buying him with the move to centre, but it's not exactly panic stations if you're an owner.
Yeah, I think that's right, mate. I wouldn't bring him in this week if I didn't have him, but I do have him. And like I said before, I've got bigger problems than Reuben Garrick being named at centre. But but I agree with Des. I think I'd much rather him be on the wing or at fullback for Supercoach.
Big time. So, we'll see what happens there. If Tommy Turbo does get ruled out, there's a chance he goes to fullback. But as they are a little light on for outside backs at the moment, maybe KO Weeks just goes straight back there. Time will tell. No Josh Schuster in that side as well. He's out injured again, unfortunately. So, it might avoid a bit of an AE disaster the way he's been going. But again, a matchup with the Titans wouldn't have been too bad. Anyway, Hayes Dunster in at the Parramatta Eels. That is likely only for 1 week with Bailey Simonson out with a HIA. Ryan Matterson named on the edge. Jermaine Hopgood starting at lock. Boys, Wiramu Greg gained a bit of interest this week, and again, we'll get to our front row forward plans in a minute, particularly you, Ad, who you are running a little bit short this week. But Greg, obviously, is a beneficiary of the injury to Regan Campbell-Gillard, who's out set for a relatively lengthy stint on the sideline. Starting at prop, 234k, break-even of 10. Junior Barlow, he'll be unavailable over the Origin period and on those 3 major bye weeks that Parramatta do play. At the price, is he a bloke that you'd consider bringing in just to plug a hole for you this week and hopefully make a bit of cash?
Yeah, I actually hadn't looked at him, to be honest, but now you say that, that's actually quite attractive because I think I'm not the only team that's got problems at front row, and 234k, and if he's got some job security, I'll have to have a look into him. Have you looked at his points per minute and stuff like that?
I think he's
a good option.
1.13 or 1.14. As I said, such a busy day with lockouts ending and teams dropping this morning, and
he doesn't look like a guy who's going to play big minutes, does he? He looks more like
probably not. No,
Greg Eastwood type build. But
so 33 points in 31 minutes on the weekend against the Broncos. 26 in base. He's based in 1.13 this year. That's obviously in pretty limited minutes, 20 minutes per game. So look, if you used to go at around 1 point per minute and he got, let's say, even 35 to 40 minutes, if you could average 35 to 40. Could do a job for you.
Yeah, and I reckon if you're looking for a cheapie to solve a problem there, he's got plays those bye weeks as well. So if Campbell-Gillard will be out those weeks, you would think.
Yeah, Campbell-Gillard's, I said, at least, very least that first major bye week Origin 1, and Bolo out as well. So
that's a good option.
Solid enough. Yeah. Over at the Newcastle Knights, Kalen Ponga has been named to start at 5'8". The Knights do have the bye, I believe, next week, though, so you wouldn't be jumping on there too soon. Payne Haas, Ezra Mam out suspended. An absolute sigh of relief for non-Payne Haas owners, myself included. But poor old Payne Haas, we won't get into the hip drop tackle too much, but fair dinkum, that's unlucky. There wasn't much in that at all. Junior Totola back for the South Sydney Rabbitohs as a part of a 4-forward bench. So they've got 3 middles there and Cartwright as well, who's an edge. This becomes an issue. We'll get to him in a minute, but it's an issue for Davey Moali and his potential minutes and output this weekend. Xavier Savage named on the extended bench for the Raiders, fullback in New South Wales Cup. Seb Chris remains at fullback. This is good news for Jared Croker, who's been named at centre. Jordan Rapana has been named on the wing in place of Nick Kochick, who is out with a hamstring injury. Penrith, some interesting stuff going on, Desi, at the Penrith Panthers. So they've got the Dream Supercoach matchup this week against the Tigers. They're paying about $9.50, the Tigers. But there's also been a little bit of chat around Panthers players getting rests. We sort of thought that with Isaac Tungo out long term, that one of the near bottom dollar cheaps in Jesse McLean or Tom Jenkins might have started at centre. Tyrone Peachy is the one, the old blast from the past. The Peach is back. He's the one who's been named to start at centre. Taruva has been named despite his injury concern as well. Again, it's an awkward time. This is a Saturday night game. It's about the 5th game of the round, I believe, 5th or 6th, because there's chat of Nathan Cleary maybe getting rested. Jack Cogger's on the extended bench. So Cleary obviously didn't goal kick last weekend, so there's question marks around him and if they give him the week off, which is obviously very significant for captains. Desi, Tyrone Peachy. I can't believe I'm saying this, but 289K. 2RF only at the moment, but if he was to play, say, 3 games at centre with Tungo out, you'd assume by the next update, which would be round 12 or 13, would get that dual positioning, which is vital. He's cheap, played 1 game this season against the Raiders, scored 43 points in 22 minutes. I looked at his New South Wales Cup stats this season. They're not bad. He's played every position. Centre, hooker, lock, all over the shop. He scored 1 try in his 4 games at centre, tackle break, 6, 1, 1 and 4. He's offloaded every game, albeit only 1. So the numbers are pretty decent. The Panthers have 2 really nice weeks coming up. You can make a case for him.
Can you make a case for Tyrone Peachy? Of course you can.
Of course you can.
You're talking me into it.
Yeah, mate, I'm tempted. I won't lie.
Get around him.
Especially as an Ellie Katoa owner. So talk to us. Talk. In, out, you like it?
I like it. I reckon he's at a price you could grab him. Peachy, you never know what he can produce.
And against the Tigers this week and then the Warriors next week at Suncorp, playing for Penrith on the left edge, adds he's very playable in your team each. Well, I shouldn't say very playable. He's playable in your team. And there's a bit of a ceiling on him.
Look, he's playable. I certainly wouldn't say very playable.
No, I corrected myself.
Yeah, there'd be some nervous times.
Yeah.
If someone brought him in, you can understand why. You're probably going to make some cash. I think that's pretty clear if he keeps the position. And the fact they've selected him in front of those young guys, obviously, he must be playing it right. If he was playing round 13, it would make me more tempted. But I'm just thinking, is there someone better at that price like Wiramu Greg? That I know he's not going to have the ceiling of the Peach, but you might actually want to play in round 13. Don't know. I'll have a look at him, but I'm not super excited by him.
I don't mind the Peach.
Maybe everyone else should buy him.
I don't mind the Peach. Look, job security is the obvious issue there, but it's like if he, for now, he's been given the spot for Tungo, who's out long term. So if he keeps the spot,
I mean it's in the Panthers backline, so it's a handy spot to get.
Not only that, he has a high work rate. He's an offloader. He's a tackle buster.
The Peach is in.
The Peach is in.
So who would he be playing inside?
He'll be inside Taruva there. He'll be on the edge with Luai. He's very interesting. I don't mind the Peach.
Geez, the left edge doesn't look like it did a year ago, does it?
Oh God, not at all. Yeah, just a little bit different. So yeah, we can make a case for the Peach. We've made a case for the Peach.
We're on Peach watch now.
Yeah, Peach. Look, you'd obviously prefer to wait till next week, but no price rises this week. But as I said, very playable. It's in your back row this week, I think. So one to keep an eye for. And that entire Penrith team, keep a big eye out for it all week. So there could be plenty of changes in that one. At the Warriors, Chance Nickel Clockstad, he's out with another HI, unfortunately, as is Tohu Harris. The issue here, and we'll tie Ellie Katoa into this as well. Due to being Tohu's injured, actually. So Tohu, I believe it's meant to be maybe an MCL or something. So if that's confirmed, he'll be out a while. But Chance, HIA, believed to be Category 1, which means he'll miss out on 11, can't play for 11 days. The poor old Warriors and the Storm, so being Eli Katoa, who is also believed to be a Category 1 HIA, needs to be confirmed that, but they will both miss. Storm on the bye this week, but miss this week and then the following week as well, which is Magic Round. So Katoa, he'd be out. They'll both be out for 2 weeks. So that's a big issue. At the Roosters, we look at cheapies.
Just on chance for a sec. During the game, they said it was a Category 2, but then he failed the HIA. So I don't know if he's definitely out next week, but I'm assuming actually he will be because it was his second HIA this year. Actually,
he had one quite recently as well.
Yeah, he had one earlier in the season, so he'll definitely be out. And to be honest, he could even be out for longer. Like if you had 2 HIAs in the space of 6 weeks, he could be out even longer. But anyway, want to keep
we'll get more information on that as the week goes on. Certainly by sort of Friday night sort of thing. But again, looks like they'll both be out for the 2 weeks. Daniel Tupou out with a hamstring injury at the Roosters. Got shot there. Looked pretty ordinary. Corey Allen comes in on the. It could be left or right wing, but Tupou was obviously left wing for the Roosters. 258k, Desi. It's not a bad spot to be at the Roosters. Bottom dollar, some decent games. Billy Smith also, I believe he returned to New South Wales Cup on the weekend. So you think if he comes back all right, he might slot in there for either Momirovski or Allen at some point. But Corey Allen, 258k, need a cheapy CT dub.
I don't mind it. As long as he keeps the spot for a few price rises, then I can get around it. But otherwise, I think there's maybe better options. Corey Allen's never been the best Supercoach player. Yeah, he's always offered so much, tantalised the idea of being a good player, but it's never really eventuated.
You'd be banking on him scoring some tries. And I think at the Roosters he gets that, but you're right, he's never been overly Supercoach relevant. Tautau Moga, one of the most popular trading options this week until he was ruled out in the team list. Scores of 110 and 98 or something to start the season. I was going to say that he wasn't a buy anyway, so even with the ridiculous break even, but he's out, so no need to worry about Tautau Moga this week. Over to your doggies ads. Far out, you've had a tough run. Oh, in saying that, I don't believe there was any injuries on the weekend, was there?
I think it's our first game without an injury, although Andrew Davey didn't get named this week, so I'm not sure, and he's not named in reserve grade, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
Well, I haven't heard any reports on that one from the guys, but I don't think we did, which is a first.
Flano, gone. Oluwapu, not named in the 17, still on the extended bench. Oluwapu, watch, remains a strong one. Josh Reynolds in the halves. Look, nothing too Supercoach relevant at this stage, but the young fella must be getting closed.
I genuinely don't know. You'd have to ask Cameron Ciraldo, man. I mean, look, he's a good young player. Cameron will have to decide when he's ready to play first grade. He's how many games has he played against men? Eight games in reserve grade, maybe. So
what's your update there, mate? He's going all right.
Yeah, no, he's going well. I mean, he's like any young kid. He's got some strength in his game. He's got things I'm sure he's working on. So is he a first grader long term? For sure. Is it going to be this week? I don't know. All I'd say, I think what I said to you before, I don't think Cameron's played ducks and drakes with our sides too much this year. So, and I've seen a lot of speculation. Everyone's saying, this player's named on the extended bench, they're going to come in. Well, we haven't really done that. And when that has happened, I know it's been due to injuries that have happened during the week. So I see no reason why you would start guessing things are going to happen. Like last week, there was so much speculation about Gerard Skelton Gerard Skelton. But the other thing is New Brown's on the extended bench, and so he's coming back. So if he's ready to go, he might be, maybe he comes in front because New's got plenty of experience and
covers 9 in halves. Yeah,
because I don't see Grubb playing 80 minutes. I could be wrong, just because he hasn't done that yet this year. So you would think you need to have a backup from there. But I would have thought it might be New Brown. But we'll see. Keep an eye on it.
Guys, if you do enjoy SC Playbook, all the effort that goes into the site, you can support it by subscribing to our NRL package for $40 or for our full package, NRL, AFL, BBL, $50 for the entire year. gives you access to additional premium articles each and every week on the website, access to our WhatsApp community, different threads, the game day thread, team advice, the contributor only, the late mail thread, all sorts of good things there. Access to our major unlimited group prize, $1,000 up for grabs for the top ranked subscriber to win that one. My question and answer podcast, where I take questions from the SC Playbook subscribers, answer those, put them out on the SC Playbook channels. To do so, head to the menu on site at scplaybook.com.au and find the subscribe tab there. Guys, quick topic for today. It doesn't have to be a lengthy one, but drama at hooker and drama in the front row. So, Desi, you and I both are running Sonny Luke and Harry Grant. We knew this was coming, but we thought Sonny Luke was probably going to be hopefully going a little better. Harry Grant on the bye for the Storm, turned up in the Anzac Day game there. Sonny Luke only played 25, 30 minutes max on the weekend. You know, you certainly don't feel comfortable about playing him as your hooker this week. Might have to. And then, Ads, we'll get to your front row shortly, but lots of questions around that because Christian Welch is on the bye, pretty popular front rower. Payne Haas picked a terrible week to get suspended. You know, Stefano Udakamanu not going great guns, 33 on the weekend, although he looked all right. So people that have, you know, Pele and Moali there, the Bunnies have the 4-forward bench. That will impact Moali negatively. Big issues. Desi, let's start with hooker, mate. We're running Sonny and Harry. What are your plans there? Are you just going to take Sonny this week, or would you look to move on Harry early with the bye this week and Origin looming? What are you doing?
It's an interesting one. I think last week I said I was happy to hold Harry through the whole Origin period. It makes sense to do that. So I don't know. There's no one I'd really upgrade Sonny Luke to this week. Like, I'm happy to just give him a trot. He scores 25, so what? Just take it on the chin.
Top it.
Yeah, and go next. You can bulk up your team elsewhere, I think.
I'm thinking the same, mate. And provided he does play, he should be okay. He's been named, but as I said, there is a niggling, some sort of injury there, believe. But so if he does get ruled out, it'll be an issue. But I'm the same. The fact that it is the Tigers is good. Hopefully, he can jag some attacking stats, even if it is in limited time. Look, we might get 25 or 30 points out of him. It's not ideal, but I'm with you, mate. There aren't many great hooker targets at the moment. The one that I would have considered, you know, maybe if I wanted to cut Harry this week with the bye and Origin and whatnot, is Damien Cook, but he could play 9 for the Blues as well. So there's no one really lighting it up too much. So Sonny Luke, they'll cop it. Desi, what about if Sonny Luke gets ruled out? And I don't want to start getting too much fear factor going into that hooker position, but it could happen, mate. As I said, the fact is there's been a bit of talk about potential restings at the Panthers with the Tigers game this week. If they did rest him because of a niggling injury, would you cop the AE, do you think, or would that force you into a trade?
I think you cop the AE. If you're planning to cop 25 points from him anyway, there's no real difference. So, yeah, I think you just cop the AE, you go next.
Give you 2 cracks at a skipper as well, free VC loop opportunity.
That's it.
I'm leaning towards the same. As I said, I just don't really love any replacements. So, now, Ads, on to front row forward. Your situation, you have Stefano Udakamanu there and you had Payne Haas. You've got Pele and Moali. Very slim on there. So as it stands, we play Moali and Stefano. What are you thinking, mate? That's obviously an area you've got to prioritise, isn't it?
This is the story of my life at the moment. Yeah. The Bulldogs have had a few front row forward issues as well. So it's life replicating Supercoach. Yeah, so I think just hearing you guys talk about hooker, I reckon a lot of teams are going to be in a situation where you're just having to suck up a 25 or a 30 from one of these guys. So I'm okay to do that, but I think my issue is I've got 2. Because I think you
don't want to cop 2.
I'm not confident about Stefano. So I think I'm going to bring in Joe Tarpanay. So ideally I'd be able to play Tarpanay and... Yeah, I think Tarpanay, and then I think I'll just suck up Moale and copy his 25 to 30. I'm not worried about the 4 guys.
Can you go Moale to Tarpanay? And just carry Stefano?
That's what I want to look at. I'm just going to see... Now, you're also bringing in Wiramu Greg into the picture, all the sorts of stuff. So I'll have to have a look at my options there. But I think I need to bring in Tapano. I need to have one decent front rower.
I'm making the same trade, I think. We're talking about it, yeah. I think it's...
Stefano to Taps?
Not Stefano, but I'm just bringing in Taps. I think it's, you've talked him up and off.
Might have to be Payne to Taps. I was always planning to do that.
Well,
Origin and maybe Payne's forced my hand this week.
So let's talk about that because he's one of the most sold players this week, Payne Haas, and it really surprised me. But you're thinking about it.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I think I think Payne Haas is a better front rower. Well, he's a better front rower in the game. And I think he's a better Supercoach player. I know you guys haven't debated that one. But he equally, even when he does go well, it's not like he's been punching out 100 plus, right?
No.
They then just give him more time on the bench. So I don't think it's going to be a huge blow to have Haas in that, Tapane in there a few weeks early. So, yeah, I would have much preferred he didn't get injured this week and I was doing it the week before Origin, but I'm happy to go. And then who they play? They play Souths, Manly, Melbourne, Penrith. So he misses Souths. Manly, Melbourne, Penrith. Not seeing big attacking stats there from him, so...
Yeah, so, and that's the thing, mate. Like, he's a gun. It's been a horror watching him as a non-owner, but he's been outstanding. He's averaging 78. Yeah. He hasn't killed me as a non-owner. Of course, I wish I had him. I don't, but you're right in the sense that he misses this week. Front row 40 is a massive problem there for a lot of teams this week. You're getting a lot of value for him at 757k, so you're making, about 117 grand on the Tapane trade. The fact that the Broncos are flying as well, as I said, they've got a tough month ahead leading into Origin, but even if they win a few of those, they'll be sitting top, probably 2 or 3. So around the Origin period, they can play him reduced minutes. They might be able to rest him if there's quick turnarounds.
You can't keep playing him massive minutes through Origin period.
No.
Right? So, I mean, the other guy's going well because I've got him on my draft side, so I've been watching him is Fanua Blake. And
Fanua Blake is a very popular trade in this week.
Because he can score a try. I mean, I know he did on the weekend, but that's not unheard of for him. So no. He's the other guy at front row who's emerging as well, and he's got a pretty good buy schedule as well. Problem for him is around 12 buy, I think.
Yeah. So I have owned Fanua Blake numerous times in the past, and he always promises so much in Supercoach, but delivers so little. Something always happens to him. He can find just a little injury or maybe I was going to say suspension. I shouldn't because I'm not certain of that, but I feel like he's had a few suspensions. Back-to-back weeks of 79 and 102, but he has scored in both those weeks. As you said, Ads can score a try. So, but 600k scores prior to that of 52, 38, 54. Yeah.
Not bad. Look, he's averaging 65. It's probably averaging more than Tapane this year, isn't he?
It'd be about the same. I think Tap's probably 62 or 64 or something. So, yeah, it's probably just got him, as you said, 3 tries to his name and a try assist. But, yeah, I think Taps is the play.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Taps as well. But I just know because I've been watching AFB because he's in my draft side, saying I've been stoked to have him in my draft side because he's actually playing well. Yeah,
and then misses round 12 with the bye, but plays round 13. So that's big. So does Tapane. Yes.
I think it's going to be Tapane for me.
All right.
Just like the thing that tempts me with AFB is the point of difference. Like so many other teams will have Tapane.
There's genuine upside to him. He can score tries. He's got a good offload on him. He can bust tackles. Something always happens, though, to AFB. But, and again, Tohu Harris gone now, so decent minutes. Could be a good shout. Guys, for anyone lucky enough to be tying the knot at the moment, you're probably panicking about the cost of the wedding and the honeymoon. Reduce the stress by having you under Paddy and George from Mortgage Choice SCW. The boys can help you get a quick loan without any built-in hidden fees or penalties for paying off the loan early. They get you the best rate possible and you'll have the money within 24 hours. Super easy process. Only needs a message to make it happen. They'll make sure there's no nasty surprises, no exit fees, all with one low monthly payment. Best of all, it's free. Saves you $129 because you listen to this podcast. So mention you're an SC Playbook listener when you get in touch. Can't stress enough. Very, very easy to make it happen. Lots of SC Playbook listeners have got in touch with Paddy and George, been stoked with the results. They're on Instagram at Pat and George Mortgage Choice, all one word. So flick them a message there. If not there, jump into any of the articles on the SC Playbook website. There's an email, QR code, phone number, all that good stuff. Boys, hot topics for NRL Supercoach Round 9. Terrell Sloan, most traded in player this week, $463,000. Desi, negative 38 break even, a really good draw the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'll be honest, it surprised me as the most traded in player, but people are flocking to him after 2 really good weeks, to his credit.
Yeah, I think I talked him up a little bit at the start of the year, and you guys said you weren't that keen on him, but I think he's come into his own a bit. You can see he's got the pace and power to, score Supercoach points. So I think he'll continue to against the weaker teams. But yeah, just the base isn't good. It's not ideal.
Basing 18 this season. He's had 2 scores of 15 this season. Like, granted, outside of that, everything's been above 50. Scores of 85 and 90 the last 2 weeks. Coming up against the Dogs, Tigers and Cowboys. Plays around 13. Neg 38 breakouts. There's big money incoming. My issue probably adds is, I feel like our CT dubs are getting... It should be pretty healthy by this point, especially with... Let's say Trbojevic plays this week, gets the match up against the Tigers. Your CT dub should be pretty sweet this week. I would just have zero confidence playing him. What do you reckon?
I'm tempted to bring him in.
Jeez.
I know. I can't believe it. But I look at that draw.
Imagine your two trades this week being Peachy and Tyrell Sloan.
Well, I can't. Yeah, someone will do it. It won't be me. But I just look at the draw, and I hate to say it because he's playing the Bulldogs. I actually hate bringing guys with attacking upside against your own team. Last time I didn't do that, it was Latrell Mitchell against South, and look what happened there. But so I hate doing that. But you look at the draw he's got, and just he misses one game between now and round 20. And so he's going to play all those bye weeks apart from 16. And he's going to make cash.
The issue there is, like, if that's what you're thinking, being like, you're definitely selling him before round 20 because when he peaks in price, look, you'd carry him to round 13. They then play Penrith in round 14 and then the Bunnies round 15, then have the buy round 16. So I think if you're buying him, you're holding him to 13 and then you're flipping him straight away. Hopefully he does enough in that time to maintain his price, which is 4 games, decent games, or 5 games including the Dolphins, so he should. Yeah.
It's hard to know, isn't it? Like his best scores there are against the Roosters and he dudded against the Titans a couple of weeks ago. So he's one of those guys hard to tell. He's playing well.
He's looking good.
He looks like lightning on the field. He's a great player. So I just thinking, watching the eye, I always think of him with you, Desi, and you've always liked him. And I watched him.
Did you see Desi move like a gazelle up the hallways of Bloke Studios?
Yeah. But you were so keen. I think did you have him at the start of last year? I think
so. Yeah.
And then that didn't work out. But right now he's coming into my side. Can't believe it. I feel dirty, but I am coming 30,000. So
make some moves. Yeah, I don't love it, but look, the numbers stuck up.
Mate, you were talking about Tyrone Peachy,
We're in
desperate mode.
Tyrone Peachy's $200k cheaper.
He is.
And in a good team.
Yeah, so maybe I'll look at that.
What do you think Sloan's ceiling is, realistically? Do you think, 90 odd is it? Or can he go... Does he have 150, 160 in him? What do you think?
I know this is harsh on the Drags, but if he was fullback for Penrith or the Broncos or someone, it'd be 150 plus because he's electric. But at the Dragons, I just wonder how many score lines they're going to put on. Yeah. He's got a big score in him, though. Anyway.
Fair question.
Anyway. Moving on from Tyrell Sloan. Robert Jennings, the second most traded in player, 268k. Break-even neg 21. Desi, one of the all-time howlers of no tries on the weekend that he bombed. That was good viewing. Poor old Rob. Anyway, very popular this week, obviously. The issue I see is that Tessie New is due back next week and will come in on that wing. Plays round 13, money to be made. What do you reckon?
No go. I don't think so. Not with injuries lurking. There's got to be surefire guys you can pick up that don't have question marks looming over their job security. Not worth the risk this time.
Would we go Jared Croker over Rob Jennings at a similar sort of price, about 20k more?
I think so. I think I might be doing something along those lines this week.
Okay.
Bringing in both Raiders players.
Ads?
I definitely have Croker and Peachy in front of him. Just because when we say plays round 13, he probably doesn't.
Exactly, yeah.
Tessie New will come straight back on that side when he's good to go. So I think it's a mistake to bring him in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. AFB Thurbo, spoke about him, spoke about Joe Tapney. Stephen Crichton, Critter, 578k, break-even neg 17, goal kicked on the weekend in place of Nathan Cleary there. Tigers match up this week, Warriors the week after, who have been injury hit pretty hard. That'll be at Suncorp Stadium. What do you reckon about Critter, Ads? There's potential Origin call-up risk. I don't think he will, but Freddie loves him. He's done it before, so he's a chance. Look, yeah. What's your take?
Oh, I think it's a week late. I think last week I looked and I thought, geez, Stephen Crichton's cheap. It's one of those things. I just suddenly thought, geez, he's cheap, and of course
it's because Wilson brought him up in the chart. He was going, Crichton's playing so badly at the moment.
I didn't.
And I was thinking, like, he's 500k. I would pay that much.
I saw how low Leondi was, and then how cheap he was. I thought, what's happened there? But so it was great to see him play well as a future Bulldog. But I just think if you get him, you're chasing last week's points. I know we'll get a price bump, but he's not going to be goal kicking every week. No, he won't. He's not going to score 3 tries every week. But I just think now he's just too expensive, 578. Gone up 90k in 1 week.
Yeah, too expensive now, I'd say. The ceiling's there.
The ceiling's definitely there, but he's just never really been real. And the fact that, I mean, as you said, probably not missed the price because, his next 17 break even, but he's been in a Penrith side the last 2 to 3 years that have been utterly dominant, and he's always averaged, 60 last year, 49 the year before that, 55 the year before that. It's just never quite been there for him, had it? If anything was to happen to Cleary and he became the full-time goal kicker for Penrith, sweet.
Straight
But
in.
even then, it's like he loses Nathan Cleary on his edge.
Or if he went to fullback in this side, if Dylan Edwards
or
was
if he
out,
went to fullback,
then he'd be straight in.
Yes. Boys, moving on from Critter. Jack Gazewski, one of the most traded-in players this week. 246k, named on the edge for the Cowboys, break-even -8. Not historically a great Supercoach scorer, even in 80 minutes. He scored 47 points in 80 minutes on the weekend. Helam Lukey's due back probably next week, maybe the week after for the Cowboys. I would imagine he either slots in straight on the edge on return or comes back off the bench and goes straight onto that edge for Gazewski. What do you reckon, Ads?
Is that how you say his name?
Gazewski.
Gajewski. Who is this Gazewski? No, he's a pass.
Why not just call him the Goz? He's the Goz.
Think of jet ski.
Jet ski.
Yeah.
Jet ski. Yeah, he's a pass for
Jack Jet ski.
I think he's a pass for those reasons. Like with Lukey coming back, I think it's too much question. It's not like he's a high ceiling player. Pass.
Yeah, he can play 80 minutes and score like 20 points.
Yeah.
20 is a bit harsh, but like not a lot. So, yeah, not that keen on him. Boys, let's talk fullbacks. Had a really good chat it out with this guru this morning on the Beers and Break Evans podcast. So jump on and have a look at that to get more of my opinion there and a deeper dive there. But Dazzy, you've already mentioned that you're thinking about trading out Tommy Turbo. He's the most traded out player this week. Teddy's the 9th most traded in. Reece Walsh is top dollar. Finally had a flop on the weekend. It was mid to late 30s. It was hardly terrible, but he was due a down week. The Broncos have a tough draw coming up. Latrell is obviously hot property, but he's top dollar. He has Origin looming. I'll start with you, Desi. What are you thinking around that fullback spot over the next this week and then the next 4 to 6 weeks?
Well, I'm lucky because I already got Latrell, so I don't need to figure a way to bring him in. But for people without Latrell, I wouldn't rush to get him in. I don't think he's that important to get in. He's had a good 2-3 weeks, but we know he does this all the time, and then he'll go cold again anytime. So yeah, I wouldn't rush to get him in. Tedesco looked better, I thought. Was close to a few line breaks. I mean, he still didn't get one on the weekend, which I thought was crazy. But yeah, still, I think he cracked out 75 or so. It's what you want to see. It means that he's gearing up. Put it that way.
So what, you've got Latrell at the moment and who?
And Turbo.
Latrell and Turbo, and you're looking at flipping Turbo this week.
It's a tough one. But if he's still injured, I think you can make the trade.
If he gets ruled out, is he gone?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But I think you could probably get away with holding him. Who does Teddy have? I think he has the Warriors. So if you think Teddy's gonna go big against the Warriors, I can see why you'd make the move still.
Yeah. What are you doing around that position, Ads?
I have Turbo and Teddy, so I brought Teddy in last week because I missed the Reece Walsh train, which has killed my season. But so I've already got Teddy. I thought he was good without being kind of great yesterday.
The scores will come. They'll have to.
I think so. I hope so anyway. I watched yesterday and I thought, am I just being biased because I'm seeing the old Teddy thinking it's about to happen? Whereas you look at Reece Walsh and he looks like he's going to go through every time he's got the ball.
Yeah. Kill
Kill him as a non-owner. So I've already got Teddy. If Turbo's out, I don't know what I'll do actually. I'll have to think of what my options are if Turbo's out.
Becomes interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, particularly for you, actually, because the logical trade if Turbo is out, you just probably go Teddy. there's Origin coming up and restings over that period, because the issue is Suoliti, Manu there, who can both slot into fullback so easily, so they can rest Teddy over that Origin period.
Yeah.
It's not it's a tough position.
I was hoping going early that he might go big against the Dragons, but pardon me, obviously that didn't happen. So, I mean, 75 wasn't bad. It helped me beat Des by 1, but but yeah, I was hoping he was punch out 180 like he did last year, so that we didn't get that beauty. And the problem for me in my position is it's not easy to upgrade Turbo to either Latrell or Reece Walsh because he's just so cheap now, Turbo. So it's in this unfortunate position. So I'm hoping he plays.
You start looking at players like Gutho, maybe at a pinch, Scotty Drinkwater. I'm just looking at similar prices. Like Gutho's an interesting one, playing the 3 major buy rounds. He's scoring really well. I think he's had one score of sub like 50 or 60 at a reasonable price. So like Gutho's one that I'm certainly eyeing for the buy period, but I don't really want to go before round 13. But maybe you just
Who's he got the next 3 weeks? Gutho's the annual buy.
The buy
period player, isn't he?
So
he's always there.
Newcastle, Gold Coast, Raiders, Rabbitohs, then Cowboys in round 13, who Cowboys are struggling and will have players out due to Origin as well. He's averaging 69, one score under 62 this season. So let's scrap his 37. That was against Penrith of all teams. Low score of 62, high score of 86. So just very consistent.
Well, the biggest problem is he's more expensive than Turbo.
Yes, I guess it's not an easy one,
I need cash to upgrade Turbo to Gutho, so that'd be the problem. And if I'm going to do that, do you look at the Trell instead? Don't know. I've obviously got my eye on Gutho for that buy period, but we'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on Turbo's news during the week, but it's going to be tough if he's out. Yeah,
I've got Reece Walsh there and Turbo, and Walsh is one that I think he's a luxury sell at his price and the tough upcoming run. I think him to Teddy's a great trade on face value. Bank that cash. Teddy has a good run. Broncos tough run, but you're like, there's just not many players standing out in that position. So I think if Turbo were to be out, that'd probably maybe force the hand of going Turbo to Teddy. If Turbo plays, I'm just going to stick with them too.
Who do you think plays Origin out of Ponga and Walsh?
I think if Ponga stays fit, it is 100% Ponga's spot. Des?
Yeah, Ponga's for sure.
He dismantled us last year. If he gets through to that period fit and healthy...
And Billy Slater seems to be talking up Ponga.
Oh, it has to be Ponga.
But geez, Reece Walsh is the form player of the competition.
Yeah.
Because Reece Walsh
they wouldn't say no. They wouldn't say no if Ponga was ruled out cheekily.
It makes it
last minute.
Makes the decision easier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because Ponga's the other guy I've got my eye on, but if he plays Origin...
And the buy next week as well.
Then he's not attractive then.
Yeah. So, and that's the other thing I'm looking at. Provided KP does stay fit, Reece Walsh plays 13, which is...
One of those guys is going to play round 13. If only you knew which one.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Decisions to be made, boys. Eli Katoa. Initially, I had him as a hold. Now that it looks like he'll miss 2 weeks... I think you got to flip him, don't you, Ads? A reluctant sell.
I think we have to, mate.
Yeah.
2 weeks at this point is just too much in teams when you're starting guys like Utica Manu and stuff. Yeah. So I think he's going to have to be one of the players I sell.
Christian Welch is the 5th most traded.
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, again around people struggling front row forward. Do we think Christian Welch plays Origin, or do you think he's a number through that period? There's so many forwards in the Maroons, but he's a bit of a beloved one up there, isn't he?
Yeah, I can't see him playing Origin, though. I know he's a great player, but geez, they've got a few options at front row. Like Big Tino's going to be in front of him. Lindsay Collins will be in front of him. I would think Reuben Cotter. I would think Tom Gilbert, he's a younger.
Yeah, you add in Tom Gilbert, someone like Dave Fafita, who's playing his way back into contention, could play as a middle.
Playing well, and people are not even talking about him for Origin.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't see Welsh playing, but you never know with the Queenslanders. They do pick guys on character and history. But I just think if you got him, why would you sell him? He's just been that solid second front rower all year. It's not like you're getting a heap of cash for him.
Yeah. Outside of that Titans game in the blistering heat, which was just a weird one, he played 33 minutes. He scored over 50 every game. In a problem position of front row forward, no one knows where to go. Happy days. Desi, you're pro Welch?
Yeah, I think he's fine. I mean, I wouldn't grab him though. I don't have him, but I've kind of looked at picking him up because, you know, you're paying 500K, you're getting 50 points. You know, it's a fair trade-off, but yeah, I think tops is you want to go up.
Yeah, I don't think you need to bring him in. For me, he's like a better version of Stefano in my side, like that second front row who's just doing a job.
Yeah.
I think Christian Welsh is doing a better job than Stefano, but
if they weren't on the buy this week, like he'd be a good buy.
Yeah.
As at 490K, plugging out solid scores, but he is so irrelevant. Last one there, Josh Schuster, 10th most sold player. People just over him. 271K, break even 32. But I don't know, boys. He's dual position. He plays around 13. 270K. There's no value in the sell, is there, Desi?
Throw him out. Don't look.
Give him the old no look out the window. Yeah, if you're listening to the podcast, jump onto the YouTube and have a look at Desi's no look passing out of Josh Schuster. Gone?
Nah, I've already done it.
You've already flipped him.
Huh?
No.
I think I'll probably sell him in the coming weeks. It's not urgent. Break even of 32.
He's around 13 though.
Yeah.
Ads?
I think I'll probably just keep him for 13.
Yeah.
I think and I won't be excited about playing him.
Yeah, I'm going to keep him for his 11 points that week.
The only thing is, watching him on the weekend, I'm not convinced to be in first grade, but anyway, they seem to have made that bed. Maybe they're sticking to it. But
get him in the back row for us.
He does not look like a 5'8" at the moment to me, but I'm not a first grade coach.
Yeah, look, I'll be holding on to him, but very terrifying play there. Guys, last week's SC Playbook betr multi got home. Nico Hines, 65 plus. Official NRL fantasy points into Will Kennedy try. Kennedy had that covered, 3 tries in the first 20 minutes or something, so nailed that. No unique market this week, just carnage all around. Very chaotic, quick turnaround from the Anzac Day game. So I do like, though, Joey Manu, $3.10, anytime try scorer against the Warriors. He doubles his receipts at 5'8", runs the ball all the time. I think that's a terrific play. If you do want to follow along, you can find the link to betr in any of the articles at scplaybook.com.au or in our YouTube description. If you do want to link up with them by going through those channels, it lets betr know that we sent you, so it'll be much appreciated. Important to remember, though, that you win some, but you lose more. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Fellas, round 9 trades and skippers. You've touched on them a little bit already, but Desi, you start. What are your trades for this week?
I think it's finally time to get rid of Cardi Party. So,
bench this week. Should have noted that earlier. Yep.
You stayed at the party till late.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah.
Well past midnight. Matty like that one.
Yeah, Matty's here too. So Cardi out.
Yeah, Cardi to Tarpany. So I'll probably swing one of my front row forward, second row forward Jules down, and bring Tarps up into the front row. And then second trade, I was thinking of maybe doing Turbo to Teddy, but I think I need to get rid of Cam Pereira. I think you guys got rid of him last week.
Yeah, got to cut ties.
So I might just go him to Croker instead and get the cash that way.
Yep. I like it.
So, yeah.
Ads, what are your trades, mate?
To be honest, I haven't really mapped them out yet because I think I'm going to probably use a boost though this week. I just reckon I need to.
How many have you used?
2.
Okay, nice.
So I've got, I'm not like Spy who's probably burned them all, hasn't he?
He's burned them all.
Yeah, so I'll bring it in Tarpany. I was looking at Sloan until you made me think otherwise.
Him.
You got me thinking about the
He
peach.
could come out and get 180 this week. For your dog's sake,
I don't
hope
want him
I'm
to.
wrong.
Yeah,
I know.
I don't want him to, but
He could get 180 or he could get 8.
yeah. So I think I probably will bring him in. I just think his draw's sweet. I like the draw. I like the buy coverage. So I probably will bring him in. So probably him, and I'll probably boost, and I'll find a cheaper guy to bring in as well. Maybe a Croker or something like that, or a Peachy. Or,
Maybe a Peach.
yeah. Yeah, Peach is second row. You said that, didn't you?
He's second row at the moment. Yeah.
Jimmy wants someone to bring in the peach so bad. I can just.
I might be the one. So
he wants other people to fall for it.
I'm looking at getting rid of the Katoa boys. Finally getting rid of
Both of them.
both. Isaiah Katoa not getting that try assist where he did everything. One of the great
Criminal.
Preposterous.
criminal.
It's ridiculous.
Far out.
I couldn't believe that. Like, imagine the our age if that didn't go to Cleary or Hines when, 50,000, 60,000 of us have captained one of them.
Oh.
To dance across the field, beat like 2 defenders.
Yeah.
And
Not
then
even close. Like he shimmied
What are they
inside and he
smoking?
went out, like he burnt 2 players.
When people ask me why I prefer Supercoach to NRL Fantasy, I say I love that Driussi is very subjective in the sense that it goes to the player who deserves it the most, whereas NRL Fantasy, great game as well, but it's just tip on. So I don't feel points go to the most deserving player a lot of the time. That one was an NRL Fantasy one where it just tipped on from Aitken and he went to him. I was like, oh. Anyway, to his credit, Katoa, he did a job for me. 47 odd, needed to play him last week because of issues elsewhere. So Katoa be finally looking to move him on to Dylan Brown at this stage. I'm keen to get in for that buy coverage. Bottomed out in price, scoring well, good draw. He just looks good to me. Eli Katoa, also someone who's going to have to go now. Got to work out who to, and boys, the
Peach.
The Peach.
He's coming.
The Peach v the Tigers. And then if Nathan Cleary wasn't laid out as well, just play the Peach. Play the Peach for his ton. So, look, this could, as I said, big day today. Still need to sit back and assess a few trade plans, but looking like maybe the Peach. I sort of had the Goals written down a little bit just as an option at 2RF, but I don't really like him. I'm thinking the Peach could be the play. So, we'll see.
Had you had a few beers when you were thinking about
the Goals? Oh, too many. Oh, God. Skippers this week. Now, this is an interesting one. Desi, if he's playing Nathan Cleary against the Tigers, looks too good to be true, but might not be goal kicking. Maybe Cogger comes onto the bench as well. Look, they've got Peachy at centre, so if they play him there's every chance that if they want to rest Cleary early in that game due to a groin niggle, whatever it is, maybe he shifts into the Haas. I don't know. But Cleary looks the one, but there is some doubt around him playing this week. Do you just go straight Nico on Thursday night? What are you thinking?
I don't think you do. I couldn't do it on a Thursday. I'm too superstitious with Thursday games. It's really hard to captain someone on Thursday for me, but I can see why you do it with Hines. He's scoring 100 every week effortlessly. So, I think I'll stick it on Cleary, but, the safe C against the Tigers, we saw it last week. Turbo got 37 or whatever he got. Is it that safe? I mean, it is for Cleary, though. You'd expect Cleary gets 100 in his sleep, so...
Like, he could play 40 minutes and be on 100 at half-time.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Ads?
Well, how solid is this male that he's in doubt? Because
very weak.
The Guru
very
had
weak.
half the team out and they were all named. So
I know.
You were talking to the Guru at that time. Does he have some inside
He's an interesting
mail?
cat, the Guru.
Is he just making shit up?
Just making shit up to benefit his draft team, probably, more than anything. The bloke who's playing in draft at Owen Cleary, and he's sending off like hundreds of thousands of followers of his just to win his draft game. But yes, again, so like we keep saying it, but watch for news throughout the week around Penrith, around a lot of different things. Tommy Turbo, what's happening? If Turbo's out, just go to fullback. So,
because if Cleary plays, you've got to captain him. Don't you? Cleary against Tigers. No offense, Tigers fans. That's a dream matchup. But if we don't find that out until after Thursday, and Nick has already played, then it limits our options. Then I'm probably looking at someone like Tedesco against the Warriors, which
Teddy or Joey Manu's the other one that you could flip.
Whereas I'd rather have Hines as my captain than Teddy.
Yeah,
but maybe for me, Teddy's a good point of difference. I don't know, but obviously if Cleary plays, Cleary's my captain.
Like if it was, let's say there was talk around Cleary and it heightened a little bit that he was going to be rested maybe, and you went Nico and he got his ton or whatever he scored, irrelevant, and then it got to Saturday and Cleary was playing. Oh my God, that'd be a horrific watch.
Yeah. And the other thing is he goal kicking? Like I don't, because I was on a plane where I was come back from South Africa when they played. Why didn't he goal kick? Yeah, niggle, did he?
That's where this has really come from. So Cleary didn't goal kick, bit of a niggle. Does he sit out against the Tigers? I don't know.
Yeah,
time will tell. But yeah, look, I'm with you boys. I'm leaning towards just hoping Cleary, and then if that doesn't come off, I'd play skipper, probably Joey Manu or potentially Teddy if he was to come in. I'd probably go Teddy if he was to come in.
You wouldn't go Hines on Thursday? No interest?
Heaps of interest, but as I said, I just want Cleary via the Tigers.
It could be a week where a lot of teams could VC Luke this week because a lot of teams might be down to 17 players.
Yeah, happy days if you've got the
loop Nico on Friday, and then it could even be then one of your trades is enough. Like you nuff someone out to if he went big on.
If you went 150 or something.
Yeah, but
tough week. Boys, few questions, then we will wrap it up for this week. Question from Jake Duffner. Does having a halfback or 5'8" plus a fullback from the same team hinder points too much, i.e. Hines and Kennedy at the Sharks or Manu and Teddy at the Roosters? What do you reckon, Ads? And like you probably go one more than a step further than that. Say, look, what if you had a 1, a 6 and a 9? Is that something you've ever considered, like players taking points from each other or not?
Not too much. I think the bigger issue this year would be the buys and whether all of those players missing in the same week of a buy hurts you. So that'd be particularly in those positions when you're talking about you've only got 2 fullbacks, 2 halfbacks, 2 5/8s, 2 hookers. So that's what would worry me more than them taking points off each other in a game. If you did do that, they'd have to be in a top team like the Storm or something.
Yeah, like a Grant and a Munster or something. Like that's not going to worry you too much.
Right now, Munster, Meaney and Grant all punched out close to hundreds last night. I think
they nearly all tonned last night.
Yeah, and that didn't look like that couldn't happen again. Like that, they did that pretty easy. So
yeah, I think it's fine to have numerous players from that side. 2 absolutely is fine, and you're right. The only thing to be aware of is the buys. So if you've got 3, when you want to bring someone, you just check when they have that buy to make sure you're not too far off it. Desi, Dylan Curran, thoughts on getting Luke Keary over Dylan Brown? Without Walker, Keary's constantly getting the ball in his hands and could be a good pod. Scored well on the weekend. He's very cheap. 5'8's a pretty tough position at the moment. Could you entertain that?
I don't know. I feel like you probably need Dylan Brown pretty soon. I think are you jumping on him this week, Timmy?
I'm looking to, yes.
Yeah.
I need to strengthen that 5'8 position.
I just don't think, halves is the position, or 5'8 specifically is the position to pot up on this season. It just doesn't feel like it. It feels like Monster's getting the most value. If you pay up for him, you're going to get the most points there. If you pay 600 odd for Dylan Brown, you're going to get 60 every week there. So
plus buy coverage.
Yeah, plus buy coverage. I just don't think Keary's ever shown enough to match that. I think Brown's the buy.
Keary's, and they don't have a good buy coverage. The Roosters. I'd rather Cody. I mean, I know he's a lot more expensive than Cody Walker's the other one who's got a sweet draw.
Plays 13
through that period, and they play some soft opponents.
Yeah,
through all that period. Like, unfortunately, he's now expensive, so we missed him. But I think Cody Walker and Dylan Brown are the 2 through that period. Luke Keary, it's a pass for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hopefully a bit cheaper by that point. Cody Walker, for any non-Cody Walker owners. Wade Spear, can you run Garrick as your second fullback to beef up other positions? Now, that's a fair question. Not ideal because we want 2 gun fullbacks, but look, particularly if it's a 1-week play, there are lots of really good CT dubs available. We're all struggling a little bit with fullback. If you need to do it this week, Desi, could you shift Garrick back to fullback for a week with an eye to obviously getting you 2 gun fullbacks, or do you just need him at CT dub?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Yeah, it really depends. If you want to run with a guy like Tedesco, or you want to take a flyer on someone like, I don't know, Sivo instead, the same similar price. So I don't know. I think I'm always going to take Tedesco like a fullback. There's just no point putting Garrick down there, I don't think. I think fullback's too high a ceiling position to muck around with. Just get the best guys in, and then play musical chairs with the position over the bye period.
Ads, question from... I'm going to start with a statement from Mike Roki as well. I bring him up every week because he asks good questions, so that's always a prerequisite of getting onto the questions segment. Supercoach fun fact, he tweeted to the SC Playbook crew today, the highest scoring Tigers player overall so far is 103rd of all players. Said player, he's Luke Brooks. That's tough going.
Yeah, I wonder who's second then. That's
IPAP's averaging pretty well, but he might have missed a few games. So I haven't verified this at all, obviously. So, but I know that Mike's a good fella, and I trust him with my life. So, despite having never met him,
yeah, they're having a rough year, aren't they? The Tigers, they're due for a win. They were bloody close on the weekend.
So he's averaging 59 IPAP. Luke Brooks is averaging 52, but has played an extra game, so he might have snuck in. You're the actuary, mate. Does that math that up?
That'd probably get him there, yeah. But he's actually. He's okay from a Supercoach point of view, Luke Brooks, because at least he runs the ball and
he's averaged over 54 the last 5 years.
Doesn't have a lot of try assists from memory, but it's a grim season for Tigers and Supercoach.
And his question, mate, what do we think of you and Aitken as a trading option? Plays round 13 and 14. Dolphins attack looks pretty good. I mean, probably limited ceiling wise, but I mean he's scoring well. He's averaging enough, 60, negative 11 break even, 600k. 2 tries last 2 weeks for 91 and 99. So the dual position's handy. Better options?
Yeah, I think you're chasing the points from the last 2 weeks. But again, I know the Dolphins are playing great, and they've actually been an awesome story, but I'm still not sure I want to be doubling down on them for attacking players.
Yeah.
But you and I got that wrong earlier in the year with Hammer and Asako, so...
I brought in the Hammer, mate, so...
Yeah, so I got it very wrong then.
Yeah.
So, look, 600K, I won't be bringing him in. I just don't think there's enough ceiling there. But
4 scores, 4 of 8 scores under 43.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big sample size.
I'm not sample sizes.
I'm not an actuary, but that is approximately 50% of his scores under 43 this season.
Yeah.
And I don't like those stats.
No.
Desi, Cameron Haynes. Is Sean Lane a good pod move? Plays major buy round, good upcoming run. Lane and Maddo. Sorry, that part 2 was my question. Sean Lane, pod move. And part 2 of it, asked by me, if you had to go Lane or Maddo, who would it be?
It's a tough one. That really is a tough one. Because obviously Sean Lane's a good buy. Is he a pod move, though? Like, I feel like so many people will jump on Sean Lane very soon.
He'll be a pod move at the moment, but by round 13, people will probably load. The other thing we need to consider with Parramatta players, they play the 3 major buy-outs. They have the buy in round 14, so you can't overload with them. But at the same time, yeah. All right, give me one, Lane or Maddo.
Lane.
Ads?
I've got Lane in my draft side, which I was very excited about getting him in when he came back, but he actually hasn't looked that threatening since he's been back, I don't reckon. So he's going to get cheap. But if I had to say one, I would say Maddo.
He didn't look great on the weekend, but that's where the appeal is. A couple of games back from injury, Lane. He scored 65, 49 in base, was offloading. Like, once he does get that match fitness back and starts looking all right.
I want him to do well because of my draft side. So
yeah.
But he's going to go down in price, isn't he, surely?
Yeah. Another one, Lyle Auld. We talked about front row forward cheapies. Is Harm Saleh a no-brainer downgrade from Stefano, or is it not worth the trade? Probably one for you, Ads. I mean, in the sense that is he someone that you'd consider terrific on the weekend? The issue is that Totola's back. So he's 365k, break even 15, 58 in 50 minutes on the weekend with 56 in base. The issue is Totola's back, 4 forward bench. I don't know if he gets 50 minutes again.
Yeah, so I think the question was, is he a no-brainer? I don't think he's a no-brainer.
No. Is he a genuine option then?
Is he an option? Maybe. But I'd probably, if I was going to do that, I think I'd think again and not do it myself, even though he did play well. My problem is he a guy I want to be starting every week? And I just think I could fast forward 2 or 3 weeks and suddenly regret having him there. So I'd probably rather just have 2 guys. I'd be more happy to just sit there and, like a Welsh, you can just sit there and, you know, he's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine to go. Saleh, you don't know with that rotation, players coming back.
And Desi, one in the exact same mould, to be fair, from Cairn Ham, Tola Sipley. What are your thoughts on him? 2 games, played 43 and 44 minutes, scores of 51 and 63, 42 in base in that time, 358k, maybe? I mean, the numbers are good. Does he maintain those minutes?
I'm not sure, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, if he does, I think that's closer to a no-brainer at 358k.
Great PPM.
If he does keep it, yeah.
Jeez, he's going good.
Yeah, but has he done something different? Like, look at the last 2 years. He hasn't done that the last 2 years. Like, why has he done that? Has he got any attacking stats in there, or is it base? It's base. I know. It's
pretty well all base. Yeah. Yeah, so I think a few tackle breaks, offloads, so maybe, but there's risk in it, isn't it? He could be a front row forward plotter. I don't know. Lucky last question from Matt Dangerfield. Is it time to drop Marnie? Thinking about starting Tanner Boyd or picking up Jake Granville. Desi, you'd think yes, but as we spoke about before with Hooker, who do you move to? Would you be getting rid of Marnie?
You know what? I probably wouldn't at this point. I think he's probably dropped enough cash. He's kind of on par with, you know, Jeremy Marshall-King and...
It's down to 539k.
Yeah.
2 bludgers in a row, but...
I just wouldn't do it. I think he's had so many negative points over his last few games. If he cuts down on those negatives, then he'll get back to scoring 60, 70 points and no one will be whinging when they own him.
Yeah, Dogs have got a decent draw coming up. He plays 2 of the bye rounds. Like, I think he's a hold if you've got him. I've got him, so I'm stoked to have him this week. I think if you've got him, why would you sell him this week? Like, teams are struggling for a hooker. This is not the week to sell.
Harry Grant's on the bye, then Origin coming up. Damien Cook, Origin risk. Reece Robson not going great. I don't. Cheese's minutes are an issue at times. Played good minutes on the weekend, but no one really stands out, do they? So I don't think this is the week. Anyway, boys, we'll wrap that up for NRL Supercoach Round 9, the SC Playbook podcast. Desi, thank you very much, mate. Done well off the back of a big Anzac day.
Cheers, boys.
And cheers, ads.
Thanks, fellas.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for tuning in.